welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland. If you're new here, my name's Fiona and I have another unboxing and review video for you today. You may remember that my mum, the lovely Granny Annie, got me a Resiners Airless Pro bubble remover machine for my kitchen. No, it's not for my kitchen, it's for my craft room, but she got me it for my Christmas. And I did an unboxing and review video for you just so that we could learn together about it and see what it was like, and I loved it. I will link that video for you if you've not seen it. And at that time, Resiners didn't know who I was. However, they have since watched that video and enjoyed it, and they did reach out to me and ask if I would like to review another product for them. So of course I looked into it, as you do, and I was really excited by the product. So I was like, yes please, I would love to do that. So they sent it out to me. So it has been gifted to me. I've not paid for it myself. However, Resiners are not paying me and all opinions are my own as always. So let me tell you what it is that I'm going to be reviewing today. It is the Resiners Purair air purifier. Now this is the world's first air purifier which was tailored especially for resin artists, and that's what really caught my attention, because at first I thought, well, I use my PPE, I have my window open, do I really need it? But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, it's not only me that's exposed to the resin fumes. I've got the kids coming in, well, they're teenagers coming in and out here. I've got the animals coming in and out, the 5 dogs and the cat wander in and out my room. And I thought, they're exposed to it as well. Maybe not as much as I am, but they are. So an air purifier would be fantastic for that. And the more I looked into it, the more excited I got about it. So they have sent it to me. I'm going to tell you just a few things about it so that you know what it is and how it works first, and then we will unbox this baby. So, like I said, it's the world's first that's made specifically for resin artists. You do get a lot of other ones out there, but they wanted to have a look at removing the toxins, or they're called VOCs, which I did my research, and that stands for volatile organic compounds, and it's basically compounds that can be nasty for you, for your health, especially when they're under pressure. And us resin artists are exposed to it every time, every time we open that bottle of resin. The Purair actually removes 83.59% of these toxic VOCs that are flying about in the air from the resin. So that is a high amount of toxins that gets rid of for us. That can only be a good thing. And how do they know that? Well, it has been SGS certified, I'm not sure what that is, and it was tested in high pressure VOC environments with resin. So they have done their homework, they've done all the tests and everything, and they have done the tests specifically in a high VOC environment from resin. So basically that means that the Purair gives us a much cleaner and safer environment when we're working with resin. And in very simple terms, without going into too much technical detail, the way that it does it is it has got a dual layer filter. So there's one filter which captures all the big bits of dust, dog hair, like animal hair, any big things that are floating about the air, the big first filter catches. But then the really smart thing is, inside that there's another filter. It's an H13 HEPA filter, I believe. Again, technical jargon that I don't know a lot about, but that's what it is that protects us, this special filter that is in the middle of it. And that special HEPA filter gets rid of 99.97%, so it's almost 100% of the smaller particles, your VOCs, things like pollen, allergens, that sort of thing. So it's that filter that does the magic for us. Apparently it has got a smart air quality monitor, which means that in real time there's a digital display that tells us what the air quality is like at any time. So apparently the digital display changes according to the air quality, so you can actually look at it and see how good or bad your air quality is, and that changes all the time. It's constantly monitoring the air, and the reason that it does that is it's got 2 different modes. One of them is an automatic mode, which means that the machine works out how much toxins there are in the air, how much VOCs, and then works as hard as it needs to accordingly to be able to remove those toxins. So if it's a high amount, the fan will boost right up and help to take them away quicker. If it's a lower amount, it will use less fan. But there is an override button that you can control the fan speed yourself. So if you don't want it on automatic, if you know that it's going to be a lot of resin for a long time, you can just put that right up to, I think it's 3 different levels that it's got. So you can put it right up to the highest level. And then maybe if you're going to leave the room, you're just leaving your resin to cure, you can put it down to the lowest level. It's up to you. I like the fact that it's got 2 different settings, because I stress out enough when I'm using resin. The last thing I need is to be looking at the air quality and changing the fan speed. I'll let it do automatic and I'll trust that it's keeping me safe. And from pictures it looks like it's got like sort of decorations on the side which also change colour according to the air quality. So if the air quality is quite poor, the bit on the side will go red, and if it's good it will go green, I think. Just looking at pictures and reading about it, that's what I've picked up. But we'll see when we open it. Apparently it's got a 360-degree air circulation, so it picks up the air from all around it, not just from one area, so you don't need it pointing directly at the resin or anything like that for taking in the fumes. And then when it actually releases the clean air, it's got a 35-degree angle to enhance the air articulation or circulation. I can't remember what word they used. It was a fancy word, but basically they've really looked at the design of it to make sure that it works as effectively as possible. From what I've seen in the pictures, it looks really nice, and it's supposed to be portable as well, so you can move it from room to room if you've got 2 different crafting areas, or you can move it to different areas of the room depending on, you know, what you're doing, which I do like that idea, because I've not got an awful lot of space in here, so it's good that you can move it about. It doesn't need to be set up in one specific area. And apparently maintenance of it is dead easy as well. It actually tells you when the filter needs changed. The filter seems to have quite a long life. I think you get 200 hours of use before you need to change the filter, but you don't need to keep count, because apparently the machine actually tells you when the filter needs changed. So what could be easier? And the other important thing to know is that it can be used worldwide, because it's got a good range of voltage. So whatever country you're in the world, you can use one of these. Right, enough teasing. Let's get it out the box and have a look at it, shall we? Ooh, it is very stylish. I have to say, first impression, that it's bigger than I thought it would be. It's very big. But that's okay, because if it's going to keep us safe, who cares? And it is stylish. I do like the colour. It's a sort of mint green colour. And I'm assuming this here is the picture that changes, not the picture, but the design that changes colour according to the air quality. So you don't need to look at the actual display, which appears to be up here, to see the quality. You can look there and see if it's red or green. It looks like this bit down here is the 360-degree air circulation, so that's where it takes the air in. And then up here we have got the display, and I think this little sort of grid type thing here will be the 45-degree angle where the air comes, the purified air comes out. Let's have a quick look while we're up here. We have got, I think that will be the display panel. We've got a temperature button here that controls the setting from centigrade to Fahrenheit, so it must tell you your room temperature. That will be the fan. I would imagine that you can control yourself how high you want it. We'll find out once we look into it properly. That will be the automatic function, so you just press that button and it does it itself. That will be the timer. Apparently you can set a timer on it, so it automatically switches off any time between 1 and 9 hours, I think it is, which is fantastic, because it means that while your resin's curing, you can just leave that running and tell it to switch off in 4 hours if it's a fast cure resin, and that'll be the on-off button. So that's easy enough. The other things in the box are, you get a plug. This is a UK one. I'm assuming you get a plug according to whatever country you're in, I'm not sure. And you get an instruction manual. I had a quick look through it there and it looks dead straightforward. Let's have a look. So we have contents, It tells us what is in the package. So we've got the user manual, the filter. So I think the filter's actually inside it, because it does come with a filter. That's the machine and your power cord. It shows us what all the different things are in the air purifier. Ah, right, okay, so that must be the filter there. That's a closer look at the filter, and it tells you a bit about them. Yeah, that's the pre-filter that captures all the big bits and pieces, the dust and the ooze and the dog hair and things, and that will be the HEPA filter that catches all of the tiny little VOCs. It shows us how to get started. This is what we need. So we've taken it all out the box. We need to lift the main unit to take the filter out, and there's a power cord in there apparently. We then put the unit back on, put it in a suitable location and switch it on. And then it basically tells us there how to work it. Put the power on, you can put it on automatic mode. It will tell you the current ambient temperature in your room, the relative humidity, the TVOC value, so the total volatile organic compound value, and the air quality level, so the colour will change according to the air quality, and there's a filter indicator as well to tell us when, it's 2000 hours, not 200 hours, so 2000 hours of filter time you get. The 200 hours that I was thinking of is, that's when it falls below 10% of the life that's remaining in it, and that's when the indicator changes. So there we go. And that is the display when it's on, but we will have a look at that ourselves. So let's have a look at inside this. So to open it, I believe we just turn the main bit of the body and lift it up like that. Oh. This is the filter, it's in a packet. Let me take it out. This is what the filter looks like. Now, apparently, it tells you, it says, this side faces upwards. So when you put the filter back in, either the first time you're using it or when you change the filter, just make sure the printed side faces up, and that is all you do, I think. That cable there has to be plugged in here, apparently. So let me try and do that. I need to take it on my knee because obviously I can't stand up being in the wheelchair, so bear with me. So that is where, you see that little hole there? That's where that cable goes into, so I'll do that just now. That was easy peasy. And then basically just line it up and turn it round, and that is that. Now, I would say it's relatively heavy, but yeah, it's portable. I can lift it, no bother. So that is good. Let's find out where we plug our cable into. Okay, there's a little hole there, so I shall do that. Now, apparently when you first switch it on, the display does things, so I'm going to put you at a different angle now to watch the display when I plug it in. Right, I'm just going to plug it in now. There we go. So the lights came on the side, and the display isn't on just now. I don't know if it maybe was a second ago. Let me now switch it on and see what happens. Now apparently when you first switch it on, it goes through different checks and things, so it will say 0 for a wee while. The lights are green at the side, which I'll show you in separate footage. We'll just keep an eye on the display. So at the moment TVOC is flashing, so I take it that's because it's calibrating, it's looking for it. We've got 49% humidity. That's quite high, isn't it? It is a weird clamminess in here today. It's 21 degrees C, which is really what my room is set at all the time. That will be the fan level, I think. That will be the filter, so that will change colour when it needs changed. And that down there will be the timer. So we'll wait for it to do its calibrations, and then we'll see what happens as it actually starts to pick up the ambient VOCs are in here, because lots of things in the house can cause VOCs, not just resin. So let's wait and see what happens when that starts to change. So at the moment, as you can see, it's right up at 10. And the colour has gone red on the side. Wait, I'll bring you down and let you see. So the leaf has gone red. And it's at 9.999. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press auto. So it automatically starts to... Can you hear that? And it should show us what the fan's at just now. I can feel the clean air coming out of there, and I will look to see if the display at the top starts changing. I'm going to put you back at the other angle now. I don't know what on earth is in my room that's causing the air quality to be so bad, but now I know how much I really need one of these, because I'm not working with resin just now, so I've not got PPE on, but clearly there's a high level of VOCs in here for some reason. I have got resin sitting out that was curing overnight. Whether it's still that, I don't know. But yeah, it's quite scary to realise how many nasties are in the air that we don't know about. A few minutes later you can see that the level is starting to come down now, which is good. I'll speed this bit up for you. When it got to 0.858, the leaves, because they're all the way around it, turned green again, and we're back down nice and normal. I don't know what on earth was going on there. That was crazy, but it just shows how much we need these things without even realising it. Right, now we're going to give it a proper test, because I'm going to get my resin out and I am going to mix it up and pour some pieces, so that we can see how this machine actually reacts to it. Let's go. So this is a couple of hours later. I'm just getting all set up, ready to pour some resin. And you can see that the light is green, it's all good. And I'm just getting my little cups ready. But wait till you see what happens very shortly. I decide that one of my cups is a bit dirty and I spray alcohol on it. And wait until you see this. Yeah, so as soon as I sprayed this, which is just isopropyl alcohol, it has went right up to the maximum and went red, and the fan is going berserk. So I carry on cleaning my cups as I would with the alcohol, but then I decide that I need to actually let the alcohol all dissipate out of the air so that the machine goes back to normal before we actually start our experiment, because obviously the alcohol is a lot more toxic than we think it is, and it's sending the machine crazy. So I will come back to you in a while once that has settled. Right, now we can get on with this. So I'm using the T-Expert 1:1 resin. I'm going to make up 80 mils. So it'll be interesting to see whether the resin separate before it's mixed causes the machine to start working harder, or if it's not until it's mixed. That's part B. I've got two parts separate just now and it's not really affecting the machine, which is interesting. So let's see what happens when we mix it. There we go. Now, I'm not going to put it through the bubble remover or anything like that, because I'm just really wanting to see how the air purifier works. Got a hair. Right, that's 2 parts in. Now, I did want to do an experiment to see whether it made any difference to the machine if it mixed it manually or with my electric mixer. However, Oh, there we go, we're getting a reaction now. I've not even started stirring yet. My electric mixer has given up the ghost. So we can't do that experiment. We're going to mix it manually and see what happens. So I will time lapse this obviously because you don't want to see me stirring for 5 minutes. I'm not going to do anything with alcohol just now. Because that was a crazy reaction. I remember reading that it does react to alcohol, something to do with the calibration of it or something, I'm not sure. So this is me mixing it at the moment. And I will time lapse it and let's see what happens. As you can see, while I'm mixing, the machine is managing to keep the TVOC down at around the 0.05 mark. I don't think it goes above that, so that is good. I'm not going to put it in the bubble remover or anything, so I'm just going to mix them and then leave them for 5 minutes or so to degas. And then we'll get pouring. So I'm going to keep this video running the whole time, but I probably will speed it up for you so that you're not bored watching it. I don't know how much of this you can actually see because it's more about the machine than the actual resin. That's why I didn't show you colouring the moulds, or I'm not going into detail about what I'm actually making. I will show you the unmoulding though, because there's nothing worse than watching something and then not getting to see the final product. Right, this one I want black, that one I want red. I'll do the red first. This one is for a little Valentine gonk. Yeah, that was crazy when it started going nuts with the alcohol. It took probably about an hour to calm down properly. I went and did other things and had a coffee and everything else. So at least we know that it definitely does work when there's alcohol in the air. Just be interesting to see what it does with resin. Right, I'm going to add some glitter. To leave this sitting here for about half an hour so that I can pop any bubbles that I see coming up. Then I'm going to transfer them over to my heat mat. I will take my machine over as well. I'm going to come back and talk to you at that point because I think I'll set a timer and we'll see how that goes. In fact, what I am going to do is I'm going to spray my alcohol. The machine will go nuts, but that's fine. I'll wait until that calms down and then I'll put it over onto my heat mat and we'll see what happens from there. So are we ready for this? Here we go. There we go. Right, I will see you soon. So it's an hour later. I have set this up beside my heat mat and I have set the timer for 6 hours because that should be enough with it being on the heat mat, and I will come in every maybe half hour to an hour to see what is actually happening with the reading, but you can see it's kind of fluctuating just now. It's green and it is right beside my heat mat with my resin. So let's keep an eye on this and see how it goes. It's 45 minutes with the door closed. Let's have a look. So it's looking good. It's definitely a lot lower than it was. definitely keeping the air nice and pure. I've been trying to figure out a way to find out how bad the fumes would be, like how high the level would be without the filter on. And I've decided what I'm going to try and do is switch it off, leave it off with the door closed for an hour, and then come in and switch it back on and see what the levels are at before the purifier gets a chance to work properly. I hope that makes sense. So let's give that a go. So that's it off. I'll leave it for an hour and then I'll come back. It's been an hour with the door closed. Let's switch this on and we'll see what it's at. Look at that. Wow, it's gone red. So after a couple of hours with the fan on, it was below, it was 0.0 something. And after an hour without the, not the fan, you know what I mean, the purifier, look at this. So that's almost at 3 and it's red. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on auto and you can hear the fan working right up. That's impressive. So I'm now going to put this on a timer for 2 hours and then I'll come back and check that it has switched itself off, just so we can test the timer function. Look at it. Yay! Very impressed. We're back down to a normal level and that was almost an hour later. I've still got the timer on. So yeah, I'll let you know when it finishes. Just over 2 hours later and the Purifier has switched itself off, so we know that the timer does work, which is fab. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the pieces over and unmould them while I chat to you my final thoughts about the Resiners Purair. Right, so I'll just unmould these. I know you're not really that interested in what I've made, but there's nothing worse than watching a video and then saying, oh, I didn't get to see them. So let's do that. So the Resiners Purair machine, I would say I am very impressed. I have found it very easy to basically use. Took it out the box, read the instructions and got there. It was really easy to use. I do like the look of it. I would say maybe the one slight downside is the size. It is very big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. But to be honest, you don't need to have it sitting right next to you, so anywhere in the room is fine. And if it wasn't that big, it probably wouldn't work so well. So it's a very slight negative, but certainly not one that would stop me from using it. I've got overpour here, but I'll deal with that later. Yeah, it certainly wouldn't stop me from using it. I do like the way it looks. It is portable, you can move it about, it's not heavy at all. And I like the fact that the filter lasts for 200 hours, I think it is, before you need to think about changing that, which is excellent. So you basically, you can put it on auto, so you switch it on, press auto and then just leave it. It does it itself, which I think is brilliant, because as a resin artist you've got enough to be thinking about. Oh, my mould's all stained there. You've got enough to be thinking about, haven't you, without worrying about pressing buttons on other machines. So the fact that it's automatic, I think, is fantastic. And I think we found out today that it works. It works really well. Now, when the alcohol was sprayed, it went ballistic and took over an hour to calm down. And that's fine, because you don't need it to be calm before you start your resin. It was only because I wanted to see the machine working just with the resin, not with the alcohol in the background, that I waited. But it just shows how well it does work. I mean, it went really up as high as it could. And then when I was pouring the resin and mixing the resin, it wasn't really changing. I was thinking, is it doing anything? But of course it is. You don't want the dial to change, because if it does, it's shown that there's the volatile compounds in the air, and you don't want that. The whole point of the machine is to stop that from happening. So that's when I thought to myself, well, how do we have a control? So when I switched it off and left it for an hour and then came in, switched it on again, you saw how high it went. So it just shows how much of these VOCs, volatile organic compounds weren't actually in the air without it switched on. So that shows me that it works. And generally what that means is it's going to be a lot safer, not only for ourselves as artists, because we can wear our PPE, our gloves, our mask and all the rest of it, but for other people going in and out the room, for any pets you've got. I mean, I've got the dogs that are always in and out, I've got the cat. So, you know, it's hazardous for them. We can't have them wearing respirators and masks. So, yeah, I now realise just how dangerous it is for other people. And to be honest, I feel quite bad that I haven't been using a purifier. But anyway, let's look at the ouchy bit, which is the cost. And to be honest, it isn't actually that bad when you consider your health and how important it is. It isn't actually that bad. To buy the Resiners Purair, it's usually £215. Sorry about him barking. At the moment it's £198, so it's under £200, and that comes with the built-in filter. You can buy as a package with extra filters. It is a bit more expensive because you're getting the extra filters, but to buy it just on its own with the one filter included at the moment is £198. Your extra filter, so when you need to change it after 200 hours, they are £35 each, which isn't too bad. So you have to remember, I also have a 15% off discount code. The code that you need to put in will be in the description of this video, along with my affiliate link. If you want to go and check Resiners out, because remember, not only have they got the Purair, but they've also got the bubble remover machine, which I've got and I am loving. Please do use my link in the description of this video. It is an affiliate link, which means that it doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help my wee channel out, so please do use that. Right, let's have a quick look at these. So I have got a little Valentine's note. Gonk, look at him. He's gorgeous. I've got quite a bit of overpour there, but maybe I should say she. No, I think it looks like a he. Isn't that cute? I do like that. I have got this heart, and oh look, I have got a few little bubbles there, but as you know, it was really just to test out the machine. I wasn't paying too much care. But isn't that gorgeous? I love that. And I have got a Valentine's. I love you. Ah, that's very sweet. Very sweet. And we've got some kitties with the leftover. I've got some that are just black glitter. Oh look, that one looks like it's got an eye. That piece of glitter there. I think that's all the plain black ones, and they have all got little holes so they can be keychains. I don't know what I'll do with them, to be honest. Look at that one, how cute is that? I do like that. Black and red mix. Another black and red mix. Obviously I've got overpour to sort out. Look, I love the shapes of them, the different poses. And oh, yeah, I'll need to get that overpour sorted, but I love how the black and red have mixed. Oh, that's just pretty much plain black with a tiny bit of red there. When I was running out of the black, I decided just to add some of the red in. So yeah, I like it. So, all in all, I do like the Resiners Purair, and from what I've seen so far, I will definitely be using it. Every time I'm doing resin now, I will definitely be using it, and I do recommend it. From what I've seen, testing it out and unboxing it, yeah, I really do recommend it. So, like I said, please check out the link in the description below. Click that, you can see all of the products that Resiners have got, and you can use my 15% off discount code to save you some pennies as well. So I just want to finish by saying sorry about the dogs. That's not what I want to finish by saying. I want to finish by saying thank you so much to Resiners for reaching out to me and asking if I would like to review this, because it is something that I didn't know that I needed. But now that I know, and I will be using it. So thank you so much, Resiners. Thanks to all of you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that thumbs up button. Talk to me in the comments below. Don't forget, go check out Resiners. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my wee channel, and I will see you in our next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.